That is the stepping stones. And that book gave me a point of realization. It made me realize the journey that I've come so far. It made me appreciate everything that I took for granted. It made me, as much as I was writing it to the young people to encourage them to keep going and everything, but it was so much of an encouragement to me personally. Okay. Now you sit down and ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? How can I change whatever? I'm still within the environment, but how can I make it even better when you're not seeing fruits? But because the problem is you can be consistent and not see fruits.
You can be consistent but not see fruits.
Yes. Wow. So you need to reach to a point where you reflect and reassess again. You reflect into the goals you have. You reflect into, this evolvement that you've had. You need to understand it and understand it clearly. But the problem comes when now you give up when it doesn't work out. You give up. Like, I've dealt with talent development for quite some time. And I've seen young people who are very much talented, good dancers, good musicians, good actors, good poets. And you see, wamejaribu, they have given into it. They have given everything they have into it. But they give up along the way because despite the consistent actions, it didn't bear fruit. They didn't reach the last phase, that is reflect and reassess. I would love to give a good example of somebody called this comedian, Diana Daisy Gau. Have you heard of that lady?
Kenyan
yes, Kenyan comedian.
What's her name?
Diana Daisy.
That's the state.
Anaitwa Gau.
Gau.
Yes. So she's a comedian. Online comedy, akina crazy and all that. That's such kind of comedy. And the girl was here in Kenya doing comedy, but akafika mahali ikakani stagnant. She's very stagnant. And then she decided to do, I think she reached this point of reflecting and reassessing everything. And she was like, okay, I've done my best here. I've gotten what I've gotten, but now it's time for me to do an extra thing. So she decided to do these YouTube vlogs for travel vlogs. My friend, right now kwa mahali kunaitwa Papua New Guinea. Okay? And the lady is almost 1 million followers. Alienda Papua New Guinea na 400k followers. Saizi ako 960 something followers. Out of the Papua New Guinea, the travel vlog, it has given her a certain identity. You see, she reached this point of reflecting and reassessing. You're not really giving up into whatever. You just need to be realistic, because sometimes you need to be realistic into whatever you're chasing. Okay, so she was there, and now she's actually doing good. You should go and look into her. Ensure you look into her, because she was doing comedy hapa Kenya na comedians ni wengi, but right now she has gone outside there. She has met even the Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea. Yani, she's making things out there that she was not able to make here in Kenya. She's meeting people out there that she was not able to meet here in Kenya. So such kind of characters, they tell you need to reach to a point where you reflect and reassess.
So Alex, let me just there's a point which you are raising, and I think it's very good you have raised it at this forum. Never give up. It's now like you, after doing your strategies and reflecting, there's that do you call it giving up? Because this lady you have given us an example, and there are many out there. She was a comedian, but at some point you can use the word give up, but it's not giving up. You're getting that, She gave up in comedy, but she got into. You're getting that car. How can you? Because there's this famous nini, never give up. I'm a musician. Let me just use example. I'm a musician. You're an example. Nimeimba, but after reflecting and reassessing, it's not working. But I want to change strategy. How can you? So unasikia hapo there's the word giving up music, but sasa natakwa like I think there are also some politician like who nani mtoiwa Kamoto. She used to be a comedian. Then final now is a MP. See, there was a time in his
You're
life.
talking of KJ. He's my MP.
Yes. So the time in his life he gave up comedy. So I can hear. How do you?
Okay.
There's this narration. When I want you to tackle this narration, never give up in your strategy.
So I can say Daisy Gao didn't give up. What Daisy Gao did, he metamorphosized
from moth to a butterfly.
Yes. So because giving up is now you reach a point and I'm not doing anything else. That is what I call giving up for me. Like for me, I will say I was in a point where I felt like giving up. I've been on the ballot twice. 2027, it will be the third time I'm on the ballot and I'm not yet even 30.
Congrats.
Okay? It's not something to congratulate me. Okay? It's because as much as it sounds resilience and all that, but it's a painful journey. Okay? So I was giving you now the second time when I lost an election, I was at a point of giving up, I would say. I was asking myself questions. Then I went to God and told God, God, give me direction. Because I'm at this point, you promised me that this is my area. So kindly give me direction. I went to God and he told me, write. I started writing down my story, how I found myself at the ballot at 19 years. And I wrote my first book that is the Stepping Stones. And that book gave me a point of realization. It made me realize the journey that I've come so far. It made me appreciate everything that I took for granted. It made me, as much as I was writing it to the young people to encourage them to keep going and everything, but it was so much of an encouragement to me personally. Okay? And you see, people actually might think, he's now an author, not a politician. But when I was introducing myself, I said I'm an author, political visionary, and a youth leader. You cannot be one thing ati sasa maisha yako yote tu wewe unajulikana na kitu moja. You cannot be just one thing.
Because even Moses, I think the example you gave is the one who gave us 10 commandments.
Yes.
Is the one who got free from the Israelites.
Yes.
So like you're saying.
So you cannot be one thing. And it is good to understand there comes a time when whatever you are passionate about, it is a doorway to who you are supposed to be. It's not just, it doesn't mean that is what you will do forever. It just means it is directing you to the right path, to your purpose. So did Daisy Gao give up? No. She did her best here in Kenya as a comedian. She tried. She gave it all. And then she came and reflected, reassessed, and then she was like, nah, it's now time to do travel blog. Because comedians are so many in Kenya. It's good to always come back. Now, it's not only when you feel you're giving up, always reassess and reflect after a certain period of time. What am I doing? We always set New Year resolutions. Sijui zako za hii mwaka umefikisha wapi? Okay? Because we have we set our ambitions clear. this is what I want to achieve, this is what I want to achieve and all that. Now I'm sure it's not one resolution you've written. Umeandika kadhaa. Okay?
Another example coming in my mind, I know you are familiar with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
He was an actor. He became a governor, then tena karudi. I think it's the same thing. At one time alikuwa the acting thing, labda career says, I get your point 100%. So viewers, I'll still want to remind you, the show it's called the ENVILA Show, and our guest is Alex. And I'll ask you to continue to subscribe, continue to share, and I'd really like to hear your feedback. So Alex, I'd like us to go to the next question. In your view, is it possible for someone to create real impact doing something they are not passionate about?
Yes.
How as in, can you expound on it? Expound as in, because this person, a good example, for example.
Let me ask you, if you became the president today, would you create an impact?
Totally.
It doesn't mean you're passionate about it. It doesn't mean you're really passionate about it. It's because you just, and let me put this way first. You see, leaders, they are born and they are made.
Yes.
There are those who are born, there are those who are made. But leaders are born and made. What do I mean? When somebody has the innate attribute of leadership inside them, they tend to live, there's that life that they live to just show their leaders. Even, even as a child, your parents will look and say, this one, unakaa kiongozi huyu, okay? Because of how you go about things. But, you see, circumstances are what brings about true leadership. What do I mean? Let me go. You see, the challenges are what make leaders. You can be born a leader and you will never, ever be one. And you can, maybe you are not born a leader, but the circumstances around you made you a leader. So, what was the question?
The question is, can you create impact doing something
that you're not passionate about? So, there are those people who find themselves at places of influence. It's not like they're passionate about it, but they're there and they're making impact there. Okay?
Yes.
So, for me, I will say that is a yes answer. There are so many people out here who are doing things fast. Like, for example, wewe umesota nini, umeamua kwenda kufanya kazi. Na kazi unaenda, you will create impact there, wherever the environment you are. Because humans are agents of impact. Because we are emotional beings. So everywhere we go, there must be an impact. The fact that I've come here, it's an impact I'm creating. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm passionate about this or whatever, but the fact that I'm a human, everywhere I go, there must be an impact. So impact is mostly by wherever you are, and impact can be negative or positive. We are seeing only impact as positive, Mandela style, and
Yeah.
but impact can be negative also. So what kind of impact are we talking about in this scenario?
It's a open one.
Yes. So I would say it's a yes question, depending first on the person, wherever they are. Yes. If umekuja you don't love your job, but you're still going there, there is an impact you're doing at the end of the day. there is an impact you're doing. But there are also people who really would love to be in your place. They're passionate about what you're doing, but they will never be there. They will never reach there. They'll be like Moses. Wataona Kanani, watafika. Na isile Kanani ya baba.
You imefika, it has reached, it has hapo. I think that question is 100%. So to my seventh question, or my next question, viewers, continue subscribing, continue commenting, and our guest is Alex. Is this person tutakupea another opportunity. You expound. We'll give you a time at least you expound more about who you are totally. Now let's talk about access, turning passion into impact. There's this issue about privilege. There are those, for example, I like using sports, football. I'm good at playing soccer. But sasa tunaenda kuchaguliwa cause nani, ile mapendeleo anachaguliwa. Then there are those who are like cause they have money. As in, I'm a musician, you may release the same music, the same nini, but because I have connection na watu wa TV, watu wa nini, my song gets more airplay. So now the question is this: does impact depend on privilege, like connection, education, or financial support to you? The impact, because we are talking about passion and impact. You have the same passion, and labda you have since kasema 100% we have sacrificed the same energy, but because labda so you're getting that capacity.
Yeah, I get you. I get the question. So this is what I'll say. I'll give you two people because according to your question, I'll give you James and John. Hizo ni majina zimekaribiana. James and Evans. Aya, James is passionate about, let's do music, music. John is passionate about music. Okay? Aya, James here ndio tumesema ako passionate about music, na John pia na Evans ako pia wako music wote. Yes. James, apparently what you are asking is James has the capital muscles, maybe wazazi wake ni matajiri and all that, si ndio? But Evans doesn't. Yes. Okay? Aya. And so which means what you are asking does impact these two, the kind of impact that they will have at the end of the day. Now, let me answer you. It depends. It depends with the drive and the drive of this person we call James. You might have money. You might have, the muscles and everything. But if you don't have the drive, it might not take you far. At least you have an added advantage because we are living in such a world. People are born with silver, unasemanga spoons ama ni golden spoons ama silver platter. Okay? And there are those who are born without. I'm sure if my father was a billionaire somewhere nikasimama 19, I would have been hiyo kitu ningeenda. And then we have now Evans. Let's say Evans is passionate about it. Evans is still doing music.